This is a 30-year-old woman. My husband, who's 34, keeps sneaking out in the middle of the night.
Maybe he's a robber.
Okay.
Maybe, guys, maybe he's just a serial killer.
Maybe he's a robber. He could be sleepwalking. Maybe he's going to his favorite coffee shop.
Throw away because my husband knows about my Reddit account. As the title says, my husband keeps sneaking out in the middle of the night. For basically as long as I can remember, I've gotten up at around 4 a.m. or so to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night. That's just how my body is. And lately when I do so, I won't find my husband in bed. In fact, I can't find him anywhere. He does have pretty bad insomnia, and sometimes on really bad nights, I would find him in the living room watching TV or playing a video game. Also, it's not every night. It's maybe every other night that he is sneaking out. I'm trying not to let it bother me, but this has been going on for about a month now, and I'm starting to get really annoyed/worried about where he's going and what he's doing at such weird hours of the night. It happened again the other night, and I stayed up until he decided to come home at 6 a.m.
Hell yeah.
Mind you, I don't know how long he was actually gone, just that he hadn't been there from about 4 a.m. until then. I admit I was pretty cranky and annoyed when he got home, and I asked him where he'd been. He told me not to worry about it and let's go back to sleep. Okay. I kept pushing, and he said he just goes out for a walk. I wasn't satisfied with that answer, but the conversation kept going back to him just taking a walk to burn any extra energy or to clear his head when he couldn't sleep. So I decided to drop it as I was pretty tired and had to be up in an hour to go to work anyway. Well, it happened again tonight/this morning. I got up to go to the bathroom and I couldn't find my husband anywhere. Again, I was really annoyed, and I stayed up to see when he would get home. It was 5:35 a.m., so that's an improvement at least. When he got home, he looked so sleepy and climbed into bed, and without saying a word, I got out and took my pillow and blanket and came to the couch where I am now. I know it's petty to give him the silent treatment, but I'm frustrated and I just want to be by myself right now. I can hear him snoring, so I guess his walk worked. I'm not sure what to do now. I'm exhausted and honestly just want to know the truth. Should I confront him? I'm not big on confrontation, but at the same time, I really want to know what's going on. I'm just like...
He's going to his goon cave.
Yeah, he's going to his goon cave. I'm like, either he's seems pretty obvious, like that's very questionable behavior. If you're gonna try to brush that off,
no, that's.
I'm like, that's.
What did he say? He's like, don't worry about it.
Don't fucking worry about it.
It's good to bed.
Okay, Batman. It's like, what the fuck, dude? Like, you're out in the middle of the night.
We didn't consider that option.
Whoa, I didn't think. Wait.
What if he's Batman, guys? No, it's just like, oh no, I'm going for a walk at 4 a.m. at night. It's like okay,
bro, that's
man.
dangerous.
That's really bad.
I bet you can do that, Mr. Man. But I can't.
You must be careful, there's tapirs out in the woods. Some comments. Okay, I've suffered from insomnia all my life and done what your husband's doing a lot. Going for a long walk isn't uncommon, but when you're living with someone else, you owe it to them to sit down and talk about what's going on.
Yeah.
Not after you walk in or before you go to bed, but before or after dinner, when you're both thinking clearly. He needs to talk to you. Someone else said, why should OP automatically have to just take his word? Would he do that if the roles were reversed? Even if he was just walking. Walking for 2+ hours seems excessive. I would absolutely have a conversation with him and explain, though you shouldn't have to unless he's just dense, that odd behavior warrants questioning and he shouldn't be shocked by that. OP said, and that's basically my issue. Why are the walks so long? Am I crazy for thinking it's weird to take hours-long walks at 4 a.m.? It is crazy. Yeah. It's crazy to do that and to not be communicating to your partner, like, super huge.
Especially when they ask.
Cause I'm thinking, if he is going for 2-hour-long walks in the middle of the night, if something happens to him and he just doesn't show up and she just wakes up and she's like, I don't know where the f he is. He disappeared in the night. It's like, that's why you communicate shit. Like,
I'd hire a really buff, sexy male actor to come in for the 2 hours he's gone.
Or she could f his best friend.
Or she could be his best friend. But then he would come back and I'd be like, oh, he was just here while you were gone because you have to go on that walk. I'm not touching him or anything. I just needed to.
He's like eating cereal. He's just like, yeah.
Yeah. And he goes, who is this? I'd be like, don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Good.
Got him.
Update. All right.
No, I don't want to hear.
Do you think this goes good or bad?
Can you say update? He was building me a castle in the middle of the night. And I'm actually so happy because my castle's huge.
I want to know, what's your, I haven't read anything.
Yes.
Is it good or bad? Do you think it's going to be a funny thing?
My prediction is he's training for like a decathlon.
Yes.
Does that involve walking?
Or
Which
no,
one has
he's
walking?
I think a
He's
decathlon
going
has a
out-
lot more than walking.
He's going out in the middle of the night and finding dogs that need help, bringing them back to health, and he's not telling her because one day he will give her all the dogs.
All right.
Oh, no.
Hello all. I wanted to provide you with an update. Apologies for taking so long to update. My life has been a whirlwind for the past 8 months.
Because I have a bunch of puppies in a castle.
And I honestly haven't been in the best mental state. Also, trigger warning, this update touches on topics of depression, drug use, and cheating. So about 2 months ago, a police car pulled up to my house and 2 police officers knocked on my door. They told me they were there to do a wellness check on my husband's name because his girlfriend hadn't heard from him in 3 days and was worried about him. They asked me if I was his sister or what my relationship to him was. I told them I was his wife, and beyond that, I can't even remember what I said. I was in shock. I just remembered them leaving and me closing the door and crying. He was at work at the time, and when he got home, he could tell I was upset. I mean, it was obvious because every time I tried to speak, I would just start crying again. Eventually, it got to the point that I guess he knew he had to come clean, and he told me everything. So yeah, I found out he had been cheating on me with an ex-coworker of his. Not only this, but had been supporting her and her 2 kids because she couldn't hold down a job and he didn't want them to end up homeless. The reason she couldn't hold down a job is because she was/is into drugs and would go on week-long benders where she just wouldn't show up to work. And he says that about a year ago, she called him out of the blue and cried to him saying that she was about to lose her apartment because her husband was cheating on her and had basically vanished. Ironic, I know. Leaving her with all the bills that had to be paid. And her 2 kids needed food and new stuff for school. He says that at first, it was just financially supporting her and her kids until he started doing the drugs with her, and that's when things escalated. He told me he had to cut things off with her 3 days before the police showed up, and that's why they were doing a wellness check. So I asked him if that was where he was going when he was sneaking out. He said yes for the most part. He also said, to be fair, I really would just go on a walk or drive around sometimes. Okay.
Oh, thank God.
Oh, thank God. Sometimes you
Oh
were
my
just doing
God,
that.
dude! You have no idea the wave of relief. that
Thank
just swept over
God.
me.
To be fair, I really was just going on a walk or drive around.
Shut the up, you fucking piece of shit.
And I know there are going to be questions about how I didn't notice the missing money. So here's my answer. We have separate bank accounts. He pays for his bills and I pay for mine. And our joint bills come out of my account and he pays me back whatever the total is for those bills. And well, he never stopped paying me for those bills. And household things that were in his name never got shut off. So I never had a reason to think anything was wrong in that area. I have been so emotionally numb for these past 2 months that he has been begging me for about 2 months to make a decision about our relationship. As in divorce or work things out because being in limbo is really stressful for him.
Yeah, babe, you're stressing me out.
He's like, I haven't been getting the best sleep. I have to wake up in the middle of the night and do my other life and then get
Yeah.
right back.
I honestly just don't want to even put any energy into thinking about the future at all right now. All of my friends and family are telling me to get a divorce, but I don't know. Everything had been great up until 8 months ago, and our lives are so intertwined. That feels so stupid to say, but I'm basically paralyzed with numbness. I did, however, make an appointment for couples therapy, so I guess I will see how that goes. He seems up to it. And I just want to extend a thank you to all the people that took the time to read this and the last one. I know the typical response for all of these, and it is my instinct, it's just be like, divorce, get out. But I'm like, really, come on. Like, he has shown you so little respect.
Yeah, but I also get it. I've had, in my relationships, it's easier, like what she said about the shared community and the shared life.
Oh yeah, your life's
It's
intertwined.
so hard. And you're like,
tough.
I'll lose so many friendships. I'd rather just like keep this and then not lose others.
Right.
But like, at this point, it's like financially scary to live with this person.
Oh my God,
Like,
yeah.
But I totally get it. She just needs to like be reminded like that she's not alone.
There's a lot of elements here because not only was he completely lying to her, and it's like, sure they have separate bank accounts, but like doing such a huge financial thing and he cheated on several layers here. And she's like, things were great up until 8 months ago. And I'm like, I'm questioning that. Things were not as bad as they are right now because things are hell.
Or you weren't privy to.
And it's entirely on him that he made your guys' life living hell.
I can't believe he's like, please, it's been 2 months. Tell me what you want to do. I'm living in limbo. This is so uncomfortable.
I also don't love that it's like, I'm exhausted. I can't think of the future. I did, however, make an appointment for couples therapy, so I guess I will see how that goes. He seems up to it. I'm just like, end it there. End it. Like, if he's not the one making those steps to fixing your relationship, like, I do think, like, I will say at the end of all of this, like, there are cases of people, like, cheating and they find a way. I do think your relationship is over and you have to start a new one. But I think if the person who cheated isn't doing everything in their power to like, fix things, it's like, no, you shouldn't, the person who got cheated on shouldn't be the one trying to fix it. Like, that, get out. I don't know. But it's super complicated. If I was in this situation, I understand why you want to fix it in your head, but it's like, this guy is gonna do this again.
This sucks.
Yeah, it's a bummer. My friend told me she loves me 4 weeks before her marriage. Okay.
For
her marriage. This is a 35-year-old man.
Okay.
My friend B, who's a 35-year-old woman, just told me she loves me 4 weeks before her marriage, and I am not sure what I'm supposed to do here. I want to know if I'm doing the right thing. To give some context, I lost my wife 2 years ago. I have a 5-year-old daughter. I have not dated in the last 2 years because I have major trauma from losing my wife. I still love her a lot and don't think I am ready to move on. I invested all my time in my daughter, who looks exactly like her mother, and my work to keep my sanity for the last 2 years. I have been friends with B since we were in elementary school. We lived in the same neighborhood growing up and were best friends. She's an awesome person and we were inseparable growing up. The weirdest part was that we had completely different personalities. She was very outgoing and always had a lot of friends. I am a big introvert and B plus a few friends was all I needed. B was a serial dater and I don't remember any time since middle school when she was single. B and I never dated though. B and I also went to the same college. She never had a stable boyfriend, but just jumped from one relationship to another. I, on the other hand, did not date seriously until I was in my junior year, when I met my wife. She was a freshman, and we hit it off instantly. We fell for each other and spent all our time with each other. This strained my relationship with B, as I would generally hang out with my wife instead of her. That was the time B and I slowly started drifting apart. After college, I moved to a different town for my job. I occasionally messaged her, but nothing beyond that. B attended my wedding, and that was the last time I saw her. We kept in touch, but mostly by commenting on each other's pictures or keeping each other updated on significant life events. B did reach out to me when my wife passed away, and we talked on a phone call. Last year, B and her fiance moved to my city. I was still grieving, and both have been amazing support for me and my daughter. My daughter loves dancing, and B helped me enroll her in dancing and gymnastics classes and sometimes takes her to them. I also became good friends with her fiance, who is indeed an incredibly good man. My daughter also loves Auntie B, and B sometimes helps me babysit. Last week, B came to my house and asked if we could talk. Her tone sounded serious. She told me that over the last few months, she feels like she has started to develop feelings for me and is not sure anymore if she wants to go ahead with the wedding. She felt I also had started developing feelings for her. I told her that I am not ready for any relationship before I can deal with my mental health, for which I go to a therapist regularly. She tried to convince me that she loved me. We are soulmates, and she felt that we were meant to be together. However, I do not have the same feelings for her. I love her as a friend, but nothing beyond that. We were both emotional, but she said she was glad we talked about this. She left after that. B called me that night and told me not to talk about our conversation to anyone. I thought a lot about it and decided that I would not tell her fiance about B and my conversation from last week. I feel it's their relationship and I do not have the right to ruin their moment if B decides to go ahead with the wedding. However, I feel guilty that her fiance does not know anything about this and is going into a marriage where B might not be fully ready for it. Can you guys give suggestions on what I should do in this case? Am I wrong for not telling her fiance about our conversation? For context, I was on Reddit this weekend and I found this story and I sent it in. So
Okay.
I will say buckle up.
Oh my God, initial thoughts?
I mean, it seems like he is a very emotionally mature and stable person, and it seems like she has some things that she needs to figure out. And it's just a really tough spot for him to be in, especially that they're so close and have been close for so long, but also that he's become close to her fiance, and they've become a support system for him. I can imagine that those, both of them are really important to him. And so he's in a really awkward spot where he's like, well, I could say nothing and continue to have both of them in my life when I've, been alone, but also I ton of guilt associated with potentially, not telling
It's
the fiance.
super tough. My opinion for her is if you're feeling this way 4 weeks before a wedding, that you're gonna go tell this person that we're in love, we're soulmates, don't get married. What are you doing?
Yeah, call off the wedding first, if anything, because clearly the first step of that stuff is, okay, clearly you're feeling this way, but you also don't feel that you're meant to be with the person you're currently with.
Right.
Yeah.
That's so tough. I don't think people realize the position they're putting someone in when they're like, I'm married, I'm gonna get married, I have feelings for you. Oh, just kidding, don't tell anyone.
Yeah.
That strains OP's relationship with the fiance.
I wouldn't be able to be friends with her.
Yeah.
I'd be like, well, now we
It would
can't.
make things I would have so much anxiety about
Yeah.
that.
But it's also so messy.
Yeah.
To now communicate it, to get into there.
Yeah.
The comments here, I would tread carefully. B has some commitment issues and she pops this on you as she is getting ready to make the biggest commitment of her life. She may have true feelings for you. She may just be scared and think she has feelings for you. Protect your heart. Someone else said, hey dude, my advice is that people are complicated and make mistakes, but overreacting could be a worse mistake. From the way you told the story, it seems she was confused and made a decision to try and find some clarity. Honestly, it's much better she did it now than after the marriage. Marriage should be a huge commitment. We also don't know the other side of the story. Maybe she was having a rough time with her fiance recently. Maybe they were going through some very normal things about planning a wedding. That shit is stressful. Maybe they are dealing with conflicting opinions on their move. Maybe about having children. We don't know, so we can't assume we understand her motives. Her telling you to keep it to yourself could also be interpreted as her coming to a realization that she was wrong and is feeling shame about even acting on those feelings. Sometimes it takes doing something really dumb to understand how you feel. As I said, people make mistakes, and maybe this is one that she's going to think about late at night and cringe. We all have those moments. I recommend continuing to keep it to yourself. In a perfect world, the fiance would understand that she just had a moment of confusion, but in reality, it might color the way he thinks about her forever. That isn't fair to him, it isn't fair to her, and it doesn't cost you anything. Lastly, someone said, focus on yourself and your daughter. Bro, stay away from both, not your business to get involved in.
Yeah, I mean, with the longer comment, I don't know if I agree with all of that because, I have heard of these similar scenarios where someone wants to vibe check if someone might feel the same way, and it's there's a more mature way to go about it rather than going to OP and saying, I'm convinced we're soulmates, we're meant to be together, instead of being hey, before I get married, I've been having these feelings lately that I'm not sure if I'm reading things wrong, but marriage aside, is there something between us? And maybe getting that cleared away if you're still considering moving forward with that marriage. But it doesn't sound like that's what she did at all. It sounds like she was very much ready to lily pad once again.
Yeah.
No, not shaming that, but it's it sounds like she's just continuing her pattern.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, it's just 4 weeks before a wedding, and you're saying I think we're soulmates to someone else. Mm-hmm. That's pretty rough. Yeah, it's tough. I'm biased because I know where this is going. Light trigger warning: mentions of assault and just a scary situation. Here's the update. This is 27 days later. Good movie.
28.
Fool.
You missed a day, you idiot. Okay. A month ago, I wrote a post regarding my friend Bree, telling me that she loved me, only 4 weeks before her wedding. The last month has been crazy, and my whole world has been turned upside down. Again, for context, I lost my wife 2 years ago, and we have a 5-year-old daughter. Bree and her fiance, Jason, who's like 33, moved to our town a year ago, and we have reconnected as friends, and they have done a lot to cheer me up during this year and bring my life to normalcy. After Bree told me that she loved me, I told her that I was still not ready to move on, as I still miss my wife. She said she understood, and I did not hear from her or Jason for a few days. The guilt was killing me, as I was not sure if I should tell Jason about what she told me. Thanks to everyone who commented on the post, it helped me think the situation through. I finally called B after a few days and asked her to meet me for lunch. I talked to her and asked her if she was going ahead with her wedding. She broke down and told me she was not sure. I told her that she should at least talk to Jason regarding her feelings and not be dishonest with him. I also assured her that I would not say anything to Jason, but I just wanted her to be happy. She said she understood and left. That night, I put my daughter to sleep and was watching TV. Around 9:30 p.m., I heard a loud knock on my door, and it was Jason. I opened the door and he was in tears. He started yelling at me and asking me why I had to steal Bree out of all the people. I tried to calm him down, but he just kept on shouting. I was trying to get him to sit down on the bench on our porch. I told him my daughter was sleeping upstairs, but he slowly was getting more and more physical. He punched me in the face, and I was able to push him off. I told him to get out of my house, and he sat in his truck and drove away. I immediately called Bree, and she was crying and did not sound well on the phone. She told Jason that she could not marry him because she had feelings for me. I was really scared for her after the physical altercation with Jason and told her to gather some clothes and get out of the house. She did that and came to my place. I just didn't feel she was safe with Jason. I consoled her for almost 2 hours and was able to get her to sleep. The next morning, we had to call her parents and let them know about what had happened. Bree kept a brave face, but I could see how much she was hurting. Her parents asked her to take a few days off and immediately come back home, and she did take a flight in the evening to go home. Over the next 2 weeks, the wedding was called off. Bree and I were talking every day, and she was just very exhausted. She talked to Jason a few times and kept on asking her to take more time to think. However, I think Bree just wanted to get out of it and decided to just break it off with Jason. Currently, Bree is staying with us for the last 2 weeks. She still has a job here and started going back to work last week. I have talked to Bree in detail about what happened. Bree told me that Jason and her were dating on and off for the last 4 years. Jason is not very career-oriented, and Bree is very good at her job. She felt he was a nice and reliable person, but was unsure about him from the start. She felt that she was not getting any younger, and hence they decided to get married. When she heard about my wife passing away, she just felt really bad and wanted to be around me to comfort me. When she got her big promotion, which meant she could work in a corporate office, she immediately chose my city and moved here. Jason also moved here and got a new job. She never had any romantic feelings for me back then. As she started hanging out with my daughter and me, she started feeling the bond we shared when we were growing up. Except I was the broken one and she was taking care of me. She said that she realized she was enjoying her time with us more than Jason. She realized she made a mistake with Jason and what she wanted was right in front of her. Hence, she slowly started thinking about me in that way and finally told me about it. She knew her relationship with Jason was over the moment she confessed to me. It's a shitty situation, but I am glad that she realized that before getting married versus after. As for Jason, I feel bad for him. He is moving back to our hometown closer to his family. He is currently in their apartment and will move sometime next month. I know a lot of you would be curious if we were dating. We are not dating. I don't think I can date anyone right now, and neither should Bree. She is my friend, and I am happy that she is staying with us and plans to be here until everything is sorted out. My daughter loves having Auntie Bree around too, so that's a bonus. Plus, it's really nice to see her slowly getting back to normal. Thanks again for helping me during my last post. Cheers.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Friggin' wild.
What a mess.
I remember reading it, and before I knew like where it was all heading, it's like, yeah, so after her husband punched me in the face in my own house, I told her to come over to my house. I'm like, do you want him to come over and murder you both? I'm like, what the f*** are you thinking? That's the worst place for her to go in that moment.
Well, but the way he wrote it is like she came here. He was like, get out of the house, and then she came here. So it's I don't even know if he told her to come.
Either like
Regardless.
it's still the worst. It's still the worst place for her to go.
Yeah.
Like she showed up and he maybe should have been like, "Is there a friend you can stay with? Like, is there anywhere you can go?" Because like he clearly knows where I live. He's shown up here and been physical here.
Yeah.
Tonight.
Yeah.
Like if he comes home and you're gone, and then he comes back here and you're here. I don't know. I'm just like, and then like her staying there for weeks after. I'm just like. Dude, what are you doing?
So
like, I just am like,
tricky.
this is not good for either of you emotionally.
Yeah.
Is my, like.
I just can't help but feel like he's stated that he's not ready to date anyone. He told her that I'm not ready to date anyone, and then said in the post that he's not necessarily like feeling that with her. But anything like that, like putting myself in her shoes, I would view going to his place, him allowing her in, her staying there as steps toward what I want. And like,
Yeah, I can't help, but I can't say if it's like conscious, like moves that she's making. It might all be subconscious because she's going through a lot.
it's tough because like, it's very likely there genuinely was nowhere else to go on short notice, especially if it was like in the middle of the night. And like, so that night, maybe still scary if the fiance did decide to just continue to be pissed. So unsafe, especially with a child at that house. But like that after that night, like find some other situation. It feels a little inappropriate at that point. And I also think like when you have a kid, you have to be very intentional and careful with who you're deciding to like be part of your family. And Auntie B is one thing, but that's not, Auntie B doesn't want to be Auntie B. It sounds like she, you know.
No, she doesn't. She's admitted.
Yeah.
Her intention is she wants to be in a relationship with you and be the mother to
She wants to
your
be
daughter.
Mommy B.
That's what she wants. She has said that. I also think it's a little sketchy that a year prior, and she said she wasn't in love with him, she moved to his city to be near him. And I'm just like, that's huge.
I think it is huge.
That's gigantic. You made that decision for you and your fiance to move to this city. I'm just like, I think this is a person who needs to figure a lot out.
Yeah.
And I think you should not be around her while she's figuring that out.
Yeah, like she may not have been in love with OP like that year moving into the city, but like something was deep down pulling her in that direction. I don't think it was just like, I want to be near my friend again, but then again, like she has the thing with commitment, so like.
I think it's a fantasy in her head. I think she likes the
Yeah.
idea of stuff.
I also, another rub that I have is if she's the career-oriented one, she's the breadwinner, taking them places and like being the compass of where they go. And he literally the fiance punched someone in the face. Like he should have been kicked out. He should have have to figure out where to stay that night, and that should have been her place.
Yeah.
But I don't
understand.
know.
And I can't judge too much in that moment of like,
Totally.
it's scary. It's a whirlwind of crazy stuff. Like
So
you're going to make
much.
stupid decisions. But it's like now you're making this big conscious decision. She's here until everything's sorted out. It's like, what's that timeline?
Yeah.
It's messy. Or like stay with a friend, stay anywhere else. It's just like, this is messy.
Yeah.
We have one comment here, but it reflects what a lot of comments were saying. Someone said, I don't think it's a great idea to be playing happy families with a woman who has confessed to being in love with you, especially as you have no intention of starting a romantic relationship with her. I don't think it will end well for either of you. 900 upvotes. And I agree, he admitted from the start that he is still emotionally in a crazy place. She is now absolutely in an emotionally crazy place. This is not healthy for the two of them, especially with her attachment to him. It's like, if you're in love if you admit to someone, I'm in love with you, I think we're soulmates, and they don't feel the same about you, being around them is not gonna help with that.
No, if that happened to me, I would simply run away and never stop running until I hit ocean or something.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
What's like the physical like version of sending someone an invite to play 8-ball on iMessage? Like that's what he should have done the first time she told him her feelings. Just like been like, so you want to play 8-ball?
what? What?
So you wanna play Fortnite?
Yeah.
But one thing I will say is, you know, OP is being like writing out this very rational post, being very rational about this in his own way. But maybe there is part of him that has feelings for her too, and that's why he's allowing.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
I think that's the really hard part about like her moving to the city and then like becoming very close to him. Like, I think that also is just like, even like you said, if she's not doing it intentionally, that's a screwed up thing to do to someone who's like still grieving the loss of their wife.
Yeah, man.
Trying to take care of their child, and then you kind of just are like, hey, and then to, be like, and I love you and you love me and we're soulmates.
And even if they aren't dating, like she's still kind of like lily padded. Like she went from living with one man to living with another.
And I think if he does have feelings for her, if let's say after a moment he's like, oh shit, I do, I still think he needs to be like, hey, I think we shouldn't see each other or talk for like a while until I feel, because like there's so much.
He can't rationally figure things out if she's constantly around.
And he needs to prioritize his daughter, and it's like, what's going to be best for her, what's healthiest for her. He needs to make sure she's in a safe, stable situation.
Totally.
And that he's in a safe, stable situation. But what a crazy ride, man.
Yeah.
Woof.
Crazy.
I can't believe he just showed up and started yelling on the porch.
Yeah, man.
Whoa.
Terrifying.
Crazy.
Oh, goodness.
All right. Next story. Okay.
Stupid.
Last story. This one also blew my mind. This is a 26-year-old woman. My husband, who's 29, is obsessed with my boss, female, who's 38, and it's all my fault. This comes from True Off My Chest. I started this job about 1.5 years ago. I can't say what it is because I want us to stay anonymous and our country is very small, so my boss would probably be recognized. The moment I started, I felt like I was in the right place. My boss, the owner of the company, is very cool and kind. She's self-made and she loves her job. She does a lot of the dirty work herself that bosses who have 30 to 35 employees wouldn't have to do. But she just loves it. On top of that, we have a 6-hour workday, our salaries are 20% higher than the market, and we have 7 paid vacation weeks a year. Damn. Her reasons? She appreciates us, and she's getting richer anyway. I was so proud of working with a woman like her, so I wouldn't shut up talking about her to my husband, especially in the beginning. My husband was as fascinated by her as I am, until he met her at a company party last Christmas. She must have been beautiful when she was young. She could have been a model. I think his fascination became a crush or an obsession, or maybe worse, love. Now he follows her on social media. Her accounts are private, but he stalks her with my account. He also follows the company Instagram and likes every picture she's in. He asks about her all the time. She's a very private person, but when her divorce from her ex-husband was finalized in the beginning of this year, we all found out because he started showing up to work. He owned half of her company now, and he started to try to make changes in our work hours and salaries. We found out that her husband had cheated on her with a younger girl who he also tried to employ in our company. She still works with us. She, probably lawyers involved, eventually convinced her husband to sell her back his share. We're still in this process now. My husband has followed all this, and he was so sad for her, and so angry. How could anyone do this when they had a woman like her? If it was him, he would cherish her, love her, blah, blah, blah. Who leaves a woman for a girl? I got very angry and told him that all men prefer younger women if they could choose. He laughed at me and told me only losers do that. The last drop was last Friday. We were out for a movie night and we saw my boss with a young man. He looked to be in his mid-20s. My husband lost it. He didn't know that she dated younger men. He wanted us to go say hello, but I refused and yelled at him to control himself because he looked pathetic. When we got back home, he was frenetically going through her social media until he found the guy and he sighed in relief. The guy was her nephew and we didn't see the whole company, but they were out with other family members. My husband was so happy, like a weight lifted off his chest. I lost it on him. I started crying and yelling and told him he was in love with her, and he was shocked when I pushed and kicked him out of the bedroom. I locked the door. He stood outside trying to calm me down, telling me he loved me and I'm his girl and always will be. Then he said something that ruined me even further. It's not like someone like her would look my way. I haven't slept.
Ding dong, the witch is dead.
I haven't slept since then. Why is he feeling like this? Is it love, infatuation? She's too old for my husband, so what is it? And why would he think he couldn't have her? He's very handsome and still young. She should feel lucky that a young, handsome man likes her. And does he mean I'm less than her to accept him? Or is it purely her money and status? He refuses to admit anything. And what can I do now? I love this job. I love the benefits. Thanks to this job, our life has improved and we can afford more than just the necessities. I'm starting to hate my boss boss, though, and I hate myself for idolizing her in front of my husband. Edit. Sorry this is getting longer, but I have spoken to my mother, sister, granny, and some friends about this and about what happened last Friday, and they all think I'm making a big deal out of nothing. So strange. So he's obsessed with her boss.
Yeah.
Fully obsessed.
Yeah, like stalker obsessed.
Like, yeah, and like looking at her phone to look at her social media. Any predictions?
Predictions of what?
What do you think's gonna happen next? Like, I mean, I know it's a weird. It's hard to predict on this one.
Yeah, because it's like, where does it go?
Do you think their relationship will survive?
No.
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 They rarely do.
Yeah.
I don't think any of them have at this point.
I think
he's gonna shoot his shot.
I was just gonna say the exact same words. I think he's gonna shoot his shot.
She's about to get married and he sends her a text at 6 a.m. They overlap.
I think he's gonna shoot his shot. She's gonna say no, and he's gonna go back to his current wife.
Okay. Update. I just found out that my husband, separated, is dating my boss. I don't know what to do. Hi. I'm in so much pain and I don't know what to do. I don't want to do something stupid while hurting. I got a lot of good advice last time I was here, so I don't know. Maybe you can help me out with this this time too. My old post is linked in my bio. I hope you read it before this one because I don't want to tell the whole story again. I went against my family and friends and asked my husband for separation. I felt like my heart couldn't take it anymore. My intuition told me that my husband wasn't all mine. This was shortly after the event at the movies. My husband was in total confusion. He said that I was making a mistake, making a mountain out of a molehill, but he moved in with his brother, however. We decided to start couples counseling too. It went well the first 3 weeks or so, but my husband became more and more reluctant to participate, and sometimes he just canceled on me at the last second. He stopped showing up this month, and he also stopped calling and texting me. I was even more heartbroken, but it still just solidified that my intuition was right and that I was doing the right thing, seeing that he is not interested in working on us anymore. I chose not to quit my job. I still loved it with all the heartbreak, and I really needed the benefits. Like I'm the only one I know who is having a 3 weeks paid vacation around Christmas and New Year. I never see my boss anyway, and she doesn't even know of my existence. My husband eventually stopped being active on Instagram, and I thought it was normal. We were going through adversities until yesterday when his brother shared my husband's stories of the night. My husband was in a restaurant holding a woman's hand. I could only see her hand, so my husband has just blocked me and my family and friends from seeing his updates. I commented, "What the f***?" And this morning my husband called me. For the first time in months, totally scared and started begging. "Please don't ruin this for me. Please don't ruin this for me." I told him, "What do you mean?" He said, "Don't tell her about us." I never made the connection at first. It never even crossed my mind even. That woman in the picture was my boss.
No.
I started crying and screaming at him. "How could you do this to me? How could you tell me that it was all in my head when it's obviously all over your Instagram?" He said it just happened. I dumped him, and he was single and just happened to find her on Bumble.
No!
He begged me not to ruin this for him. She knows he's in the process of divorce, but she doesn't know that he already knew who she was or that she was the boss of his soon-to-be ex. They have been seeing each other for 6 weeks, about 2 weeks after I asked him to move, and it's getting serious. He begged for a good 5 minutes, telling me how he hasn't been this happy in all his life and that I shouldn't ruin his happiness since, again, I was the one who ended our marriage. I have been crying since this morning. I don't know what to do. I want to ruin him and his happiness, but I don't know if I have any right to do that, and I'm so worried about losing my job. Please help. Edit for new information. Okay, my husband has been calling me nonstop, and I have now answered him. He is panicking about me telling her everything, so he begged me to give him the chance to tell her himself. His words were, "I never stalked her or creeped on her. I just fell for her and was scared that she would think I was creepy since you thought the same. Give me a chance to tell her the truth at my own pace so at least she doesn't think I'm a liar or a freak like you seem to think." He still swears they matched on Bumble. I didn't know what that is until now, but it is like Tinder. I'm just so devastated right now. He has no regard for me and my feelings. Everything he is thinking of is not to scare her away. When I told him this, he said that I was the one who left him. People fall out of love and that's okay and no one's fault, and that I was in the right for ending the relationship, but I was the one who ended it all the same. Don't hurt us and I promise to give you everything you want. She is happy with me, so don't hurt us. So, thoughts?
So he went up to his old wife and was like, "Don't ruin this for me."
He called her.
in regards.
Because she
he's like,
commented, she
Yes.
commented on his Instagram, so he called her the next morning being like, don't tell her that we're getting a divorce.
could
and
you
stuff.
imagine commenting on your ex's photo with somebody else going, what the f?
No.
That is badass.
Because it's only been weeks that they've been broken up for.
The audacity of him to ask her
Yeah.
not to ruin it for him.
I know.
No, that's crazy.
What? Of course she should not feel bad at all for ruining his happiness.
know.
No, that. She needs to save this woman.
I know.
She needs to save the boss from this crazy town motherfucker.
Are you guys visualizing who this boss looks like?
Yes.
Because I'm visualizing Jessica Rabbit in like a blazer.
Absolutely. I was picturing kind of Jennifer Aniston.
Oh, I love.
Yeah.
Okay. Any predictions?
Okay, it's got to be that this boss finds out and is like, you're a fucking creep. Goodbye.
I'm scared that she.
I'm scared that you're married.
Is he attractive? How she's 29. He's 29.
He's 29, she's 38.
What do you predict? You know.
I've read, I know.
You know.
Yeah,
know.
I think the boss is gonna find out. It sounds like she's such a badass woman. She'll put the pieces together.
I'm scared that he's gonna get to her first, and then he's gonna be like, she's actually insane. Like, she's like
Oh,
on
like the
meds,
girl.
like gaslighter.
Oh, if I know the history of men, that might happen.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm scared.
Okay. Hi. Please see my previous post because this is just the update. I talked to my boss yesterday, Monday, after lunch. I told her everything. Basically how I was so happy I found this job, how I looked up to her and was proud to be working for someone like her, and that this rubbed off on my husband, who grew more obsessed with her each day. I apologize for using obsessed because I didn't know how things were between them, but that it was how I perceived his feelings. I told her about the day at the movie and how it basically made me realize that our issues were greater than I thought. I told her that I know and accept that my marriage is over and that my husband didn't love me anymore, and that the reason I'm telling her now isn't to judge or blame her, but to let her know the whole story because it's just fair that she knows that he has been following her life for over a year now. Because from what I understood from my husband, you are under the impression that you just matched up with him on a dating app.
The Bush Guide, cold and smooth survival skills. If you encounter one wolf, chances are...
I said. She was silent the whole time I was talking, just listening to me until I mentioned the dating app, and that's when she interrupted me.
It's a lie.
That's not how we met. He has been a patron at my gym for the past 6 months, maybe a year, she said. I know her gym. It's the one across our workplace. She works out there every morning before coming to work. I didn't know he had joined it because I knew him to be a member at the gym near our home. He has been, without telling me, working out just across the street from me every morning without telling me. She looked like how I felt, shocked. I apologized and told her that he has kept dating her a secret from me and that he begged me not to talk to her, telling me that he hasn't been this happy and so on. She didn't say much, just thanked me for telling her. Today, she asked if she could talk to me. She apologized for everything that happened to me and asked if I needed any help. I said no.
Oh my God, I love this woman.
She thanked me again. When I got home, my husband was there. He had called me at least 50 times, but my phone was on silent. He was crying, calling me bitter and vindictive and pathetic. He said I ruined his relationship and future. She is scared of him now, and it is all my fault. He wants me to tell her that he is not dangerous, nor is he a pervert. He wants me to tell her that I was the one who wanted a divorce, and that people fall out of love, and it is nobody's fault, and neither is it. Creepy. He hasn't done anything wrong. He stayed faithful to me and would have stayed that way if I didn't kick him out. He asked me if I ever felt unsafe with him, to make rumors about him being a stalker and a creep. I should tell the truth. I asked him to leave and that I'm starting the divorce, and from now on, he could only contact me once I got a lawyer through them. I have been crying since he left. We haven't even seen each other for weeks, and he had no feelings whatsoever for me. He looked demented and full of sorrow like a broken little boy. How could he change this fast? Before we separated, he held me and begged me to believe him and his love for me. Was it all a lie? My whole entire relationship? Good night and thank you for the support. This is a throwaway and I will be deleting it soon. I just thought I would update before doing that. Dude. Like that one, out of all of them, that's the update where I was like, oh my God. Like,
That's
He was
quite
literally
the update.
stalking
this
her.
was like, this is literally, I've never watched You on Netflix, but I'm
Yeah.
like, this is,
Oh, yeah.
this is some You territory.
It is.
Whoa.
That's to find out like your husband is like actively like stalking your boss.
Yeah.
Insane. Like,
Also, I love that throughout this whole thing, she's like slightly prioritized keeping her paid vacation job. You know what I mean? She's
Yeah.
like, I also
That's hard to find.
really don't want to lose this
20%,
job. Yeah.
20%
also, like,
more
this
salary.
frickin' job is so good.
Yeah.
God, the friggin' like, we didn't meet on a dating app.
Yes.
I saw
that
that
turn.
coming
He's been coming to my gym for 6 months. When they actively are members at a different gym, so he signed
Right.
up for that gym, which
2
means
memberships!
he found that means he knew
He knew it
found
was
out-
wrong.
He found out that means he found out what gym she
Yep.
goes to
And bought another
started-
one!
and started going there.
Also, I love the boss so much.
The boss is
She said,
incredible.
How can I help you? She said, do you need anything?
And
that.
gosh, she must have seen like a shift in her face when he said Bumble, when she said Bumble, being like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the time frame too of it. It's not like, oh, we met at the gym 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
It's no, he started coming to my gym 6 months ago. So, or maybe a year. Like, so literally for a good part of their relationship, when he was like, no, you're being crazy, like whatever, he was active.
I love those moments when you're spilling the tea and then the other person has tea. That
you
makes
didn't
it
know
double
the
tea.
it
tea
makes
was
it
coming?
tea-er.
Yes! That's so true.
This is two really like badass women like
Yeah.
coming together to
math starts
beat the shit out of a
mathing. Yeah.
sad little man.
It was also sad that she felt so sad after he left again. I'm like,
I hate that she says it's all my fault in several different updates. And
Yeah.
I
And I'm just like,
know.
it's not your fault.
Girly.
and then all
it
of a
is
sudden
not
she
you.
said goodnight, and I was like, whoa.
Good night.
Good night. I feel like she should be like the woman in the first story where it's like you had a get out of jail free card. Like
Yeah.
you got to see him at his worst and you don't have to
Yeah.
like deal with him anymore.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, at least in all of these, all the men took L's and
Yes.
had to walk off into the sunset by themselves.
Do you think he worked out twice a day because of that?
Maybe.
Well, I don't think we correctly guessed anything.
No.
But that's how these go.
Thank you so much for these.